You lose respect every time you explain yourself. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful person in any room is rarely the one talking the most? They don't justify their presence. They don't apologize for their opinions. And they certainly never, under any circumstances, explain themselves. There is a chilling, almost magnetic authority in a person who can state a boundary or a decision and then simply let it hang in the air, cold and absolute. Most people cannot do this. Most people are terrified of the silence that follows a no. They feel a frantic, almost neurotic need to fill that silence with justifications and excuses, but here is the ruthless truth that your social conditioning has hidden from you. You lose respect every time you explain yourself. Every word you utter in defense of your choices is a leak in your psychic reservoir. Every "let me explain" is a confession that you believe someone else sits in judgment over your life. Today, we are going to strip away the mask of the polite explainer and look into the dark reality of social dynamics through the lens of analytical psychology. If you have ever felt drained, misunderstood, or invisible despite your best efforts to be clear, this is for you. Carl Jung spoke extensively about the persona, the social mask we wear to navigate the world. For many, this mask is crafted out of a desperate need for approval. You have been taught since childhood that being reasonable is a virtue. You were told that if you could just explain your logic well enough, people would understand you. And if they understood you, they would love you. This is a lie. In the real world, the more you explain, the more you shrink. When you explain your actions, you are implicitly stating, "I am not the authority of my own life. You are. Please review my evidence and grant me permission to exist as I am." This is not the behavior of a sovereign individual. It is the behavior of a defendant in a courtroom. Carl Jung noted that the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. When you offer an explanation, you are handing the world the pen and asking it to write your identity for you. You are effectively telling the other person that their opinion of your why is more important than the fact of your what. Think about the last time someone crossed a boundary and you spent 20 minutes explaining why you were upset. Did they respect you more afterward? Or did they use your explanation as a map to find a way around your boundary next time? When you give a reason, you give a target. You provide the other person with the ammunition they need to argue with you. If you say, "I can't go because I'm tired," they will tell you how to get more energy. If you say, "I can't go," and offer nothing else, they are forced to confront the reality of your choice. Jung's concept of psychic energy is vital here. He viewed the psyche as a closed system. You have a finite amount of internal force to direct toward your growth, your work, and your individuation. When you engage in the compulsive justification of yourself, you are hemorrhaging this energy into a void. Why do we do it? Because silence feels like a threat. When you make a decision and refuse to explain it, the other person experiences a vacuum. Human nature abhors a vacuum, so they try to fill it with their own projections, their own anger, or their own confusion. If you are not grounded in your own center, you will feel their discomfort as if it were your own. You will explain yourself just to stop the noise of their reaction. But look closer. Who is really in control in that moment? The person who is silent or the person who is scrambling to be understood? By explaining, you are attempting to control how the other person perceives you. This is a form of manipulation disguised as politeness. You are trying to manage their emotions so that you don't have to feel the weight of their disapproval. This is the definition of being available to the point of self-erasure. You are sacrificing yourself on the altar of the persona. Inside every nice person who explains everything is a shadow that is terrified of being seen as bad. You explain yourself because you cannot bear the thought of being the villain in someone else's story. You want to be the good guy who has a valid reason for everything. Jung famously said, "I'd rather be whole than good." To be whole is to accept that you will be misunderstood. To be whole is to accept that some people will think you are selfish, arrogant, or cold, and to be perfectly fine with that. When you stop explaining, you are essentially telling your shadow, "I see your fear of rejection, and I am choosing to stand in it anyway." They are expert lawyers of the human soul. They wait for you to offer a justification so they can find the loophole. If you give them 3 reasons why you are leaving a toxic situation, they will debunk those 3 reasons and trap you for another 3 years. But if you simply withdraw, if you simply stop being available for the debate, they have nothing to hold on to. Silence is the only weapon that a manipulator cannot turn back against you. In 2026, the world demands total transparency. We are expected to be authentic by sharing every thought and accountable by justifying every move. This is a trap designed to keep you predictable. Everything that is predictable is easy to manage. Everything that is easy to manage is eventually discarded. When you become unavailable for explanations, you become a mystery. And mystery is the foundation of respect. Think of the figures in history or your own life who you respect the most. Do they babble? Do they send long paragraphs via text explaining their process? No, they act, and they let the world deal with the consequences of their actions. This is what Jung called individuation, the process of separating yourself from the herd and becoming a singular integrated being. The herd explains. The herd seeks consensus. The individual stands in their own truth and understands that their why is sacred ground. To explain your inner motivations to someone who hasn't earned that depth is a form of spiritual prostitution. You are selling your inner truth for the cheap price of a moment's social ease. So, how do you reclaim this lost respect? It begins with the 2-second rule. Before you offer a justification, wait 2 seconds. Feel the urge to explain rising in your chest, that tightness, that need to be liked. Watch it. Observe it as if it were a strange animal. And then, say nothing. If someone asks why you didn't answer their call, you don't say, "Oh, I was in the shower," and then the phone was on silent. And then, you simply say, "I wasn't able to talk then." Period. No further data. If they push, you remain silent or repeat the statement. This will irritate people. Jung warned that the path to wholeness is paved with the corpses of your former relationships. People who were used to managing you through your explanations will call you weird or distant. They will try to poke your wounds to get a reaction. Do not flinch. This irritation is the sound of your chains breaking. They are not mad that you changed. They are mad that you are no longer functional for their needs. The end goal of this journey is not to become a hermit or a machine. It is to become a person whose yes has weight and whose no is a finality. When you stop explaining yourself, you begin to listen to your own internal guidance system. You stop looking at the faces of others to see if you are allowed to feel what you feel. Respect is not something you demand. It is something you command through your presence. And nothing commands presence like the ability to be misunderstood in silence. It reveals a level of internal security that most people cannot even imagine. It shows that you are the master of your own psychic energy, that you have looked into your own shadow and found something more valuable than the world's approval. The next time you feel that familiar itch to justify your life, remember this: your life is not a trial. You are not a witness for the defense. You are the judge, the jury, and the sovereign. The world does not need your reasons. It needs your strength. And strength is never found in the mouth of a man who is busy explaining himself. Choose your silence. Guard your energy, and watch as the world, for the first time, truly begins to see you.